Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Four Downs. This is the college football top 25 reaction as we heard the announcement of the college football committee on ESPN. The top 25 is out. A lot of people talking about it, of who is not supposed to be where, and that's not fair, and it is trending in the wrong direction. But I do know that the only one team that I'm concerned about is still on top, and that is no other than the Georgia Bulldogs. That's right. So, everybody else, take a seat back, and I'm going to say it again. This is the year for the Georgia Bulldogs. They will be the national champion. But first, we have some conference championships. But before that, man, there's some coaching carousels, like coaches leaving, and the season's not even over. How could this be? There's no rules to when you could depart to go to another school when the season's still on, and especially your team has a chance to make it to the college football playoffs. I don't know. It's crazy, right? You wouldn't even see this in the NFL. You won't even see this in the professional level. But I guess, hey, coaches could do what they do, right? You could fire them at any time. They could leave at any time. They could sign at any time. We're going to talk about that more on this show. But first, let me bring on Big Jace in the house. Jace,
Woo!
welcome.
Dude, I
Uh,
gotta say that intro is sick, bro. That's amazing.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I had a little bit of help, but yeah, it's a good package put together. But I can't say the same on the top 25, as I was already getting text messages from some people about, yo, this is bullshit, that this is not fair and stuff like that. So hey, let's get down to it, to the top 25. But of course, I do have to break it down like this. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, all four down. So you can follow us on Facebook, like us, leave a comment, share with us as we go over through the top 25. Here we go. For the college football playoffs, we're going it for the championship, and these are the people that were in it. And this is the right for four teams to go in the playoffs and go for the national championship. Who will it be? We'll start with 21 through 25. Houston, Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Texas A&M. Jace, I said it previously on Sunday on my YouTube channel that since UTSA fell off the charts with their loss this past weekend, that somebody from the Sun Belt Conference was going to be, and no doubt it was Louisiana. Even though I have them ranked higher than what they have them, but Louisiana's 11-1, finally
Yeah.
deserved to be in the top 25.
Yeah, I mean, Louisiana's deserving. I can say definitely more so than at least two of those teams. Four last teams should not be in the top 25. That's a whole, I mean, we had that argument last week. But yeah, I mean, Louisiana, they've been playing great. Rough game one against Texas. But I mean, yeah, they've handled their business since. And I mean, we're going to talk about the coaching carousel. Billy Napier, that's a guy who's everyone's been talking about him every year when a big job opens up. This year might be his year as well, maybe. So I don't know, but yeah, they deserve to be top 25 for sure.
Definitely. Houston, I have them higher ranked just because they're going to go head to head against Cincinnati. We'll talk about that later. Arkansas and Texas A&M, I'm still dumbfounded why they're still in the top 25. I do have Kentucky in there at 25 in my personal rankings, but having Arkansas and Texas A&M there, especially, I mean, it's very unheard of to have a four-loss team to be ranked in the top 25. I still don't understand what happened to the love of Army, who is playing a great football, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe Utah State, which has got three losses, but they're playing for a conference championship.
Yeah,
These
that's true.
teams, their season is done. They're waiting until which bowl game they're going to be, and that's not a guarantee if they're going to the New Year's Six Bowl. All right, but hey, 16-20, Wake Forest, Utah, North Carolina State, San Diego State, and Clemson. Clemson, they're looking like the team that they're supposed to be. I mean, they're a little bit late. They're not, for the first time in a while. They're not going to be in the ACC championship.
Yeah.
But more respect to them. I dig it that they're at 20. Who else? And Wake Forest being at 16. Okay, I kind of understand. They're within that window. I like it. What do you
Yeah.
have?
I mean, this pretty much makes sense. I said it last week. I'm gonna say it again. I'm a Utes fan, but San Diego State has that win against Utah, and Utah has two other losses on top of that. San Diego State should be ahead against Utah, but other than that, yeah, this is the middle of the pack, and I mean, it's a solid middle of the pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and move on to 11 through 15. We got Michigan State, BYU, Iowa, Oklahoma, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I'm liking Pittsburgh, and they're a little bit favored coming in for the ACC championship. They take on Wake Forest. Oklahoma, 10-2, respectively. I got them in the right range. I'm surprised with BYU being at number 12. Their season's done too. They're not even playing for a college football championship. But
No.
if they're that good, supposed to be in 12, that hey, that's I guess it is what it is. I mean, at this point, anybody that we're mentioning now, I have zero chances of making to the college football playoffs. And then you got Michigan State there. They're just hanging out, sort of.
Yeah, I'm just as dumbfounded as you with BYU. They lost to Boise State. Boise State, Oklahoma. They at least lost to two top 10 teams. But you're gonna put a team that lost to Boise State ahead of them? Well, what are we doing here? BYU. I mean, okay, they're going to the Big 12. That's years down the line. Let's stop acting like they're a Power 5 team already. They're not, and they don't deserve it. They play more than half their games at home.
Yeah, I know
Like,
you
it's
mentioned that every
ridiculous.
week that the most of their games are at home. So most definitely. But hey, 7 through 10. Now this is a big surprise here. At 7, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Baylor, and Oregon. I have Ohio State at number 7. Ole Miss was my biggest surprise because of the fact the way they lost to Alabama. Okay, and Baylor's in contention for the Big 12 championship. I felt like Baylor should be on top of Ole Miss on this one.
No, yeah, I mean, you could even argue to put Baylor ahead of Ohio State because they still can win that championship. But I'm actually proud of the committee here. I wouldn't have been surprised if the committee just somehow put Ohio State at like 5 or 6 just because it's Ohio State. But I'm proud of them for putting them at 7 and letting everyone else do their thing.
All right, here we go. Number 1 through 6, of course. Georgia, number 1, well deserved. The only team that really deserved to be in the top rankings there. Number 2, Michigan. I had them jump at number 2 as well. Well deserved. The way they play that game, we could see that Michigan tear it up and potentially see Michigan and Georgia in the finals, possibly. All right. Alabama is the confusing part here because I watched this game against Auburn and they look like a Clemson team that was playing Georgia in week 1. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand how Alabama didn't get dropped. Any other team that would show up and play like the Alabama played, especially against Auburn, which is now 6-6 record, I'm sorry, they would have been dropped out of the top 4. And this
The-
is favoritism for
yeah,
Alabama. Favoritism. The
yeah,
only school that's getting favoritism on this one.
yeah. They got dropped last week for winning a close one against a ranked team. Now they will go to overtime against an unranked team and stay the same. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I'm gonna be so upset if Alabama beats Georgia
Hey,
because that's
stop
gonna
it,
make
stop it,
everything
stop it,
crazy.
stop
Because
it.
they don't deserve to be
You're
in
talking
the college
crazy.
football playoff.
You're
I know I'm
talking
talking crazy,
crazy. You should
but
be
it's a
stress free.
realistic
You should be
possibility.
stress free, man.
I
Be stress
should,
free.
but Alabama, they don't deserve to be at 3. They don't deserve to be in the college football playoff after the way they've played this season. Even if yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Exactly. I had actually Oklahoma State at number 3. I had Cincinnati at 4 just because Cincinnati was playing East Carolina. It's not a team. Okay. Not a team that's competitive to be even like putting in a resume. But I tell you what, Cincinnati does have a big task. I saw Houston in person last Saturday against UConn. They played just as good as any other time I've seen Houston. They whooped on UConn. like they supposed to. And now I know they're ranked very low here, but Houston could possibly upset Cincinnati this weekend. Possibly. I'm not saying they're going to, but this is a great game for Cincinnati. And if Cincinnati should win over Houston, guaranteed Cincinnati could move up in the rankings. They could be at least number 3, depending on what happens with Michigan and Iowa. I'm still predicting Michigan might take that game. The way they play against Ohio State, ain't nobody. I don't think they're fooling around anymore. They finally got that rank, that thingamajigger that's holding down Jim Harbaugh. I think it's over with now.
Yeah. And I told you that a month ago before the game even started. They'd get the
Big
win.
what's
And they
up to
did it.
Frank from Speaking It Real. Alabama will beat Georgia. I got that. Frank Quedges, I hope Georgia loses, but oh hell no. Wait a minute. I'm reading this wrong. He wants Alabama to beat Georgia. He's just a hater. All right. But Oklahoma State at 3, really? Yes, I do believe it. Oklahoma State does deserve it. They got the best run game in the house. They're playing lights out defense. And yeah, they almost had that slip up at the end against Oklahoma. But do you expect anything different with Oklahoma's offense? I mean, these guys are always neck to neck, and every team
Yeah.
that they play against in the Big 12. Okay. This much deserved. And for them not even being ranked ahead of time, you know what I mean? Now they finally recognize Oklahoma State for what they are. But hey, the committee got them at number 5. I guarantee that they're going to slip in there once Georgia defeats Alabama. Oklahoma State is going to take that final slot.
Yeah, I agree with that. They will. Go dogs. Let's go. Suck it,
All right.
Bama.
Hector says no one respected Oklahoma when they were undefeated.
That's true.
Well, how could you respect Oklahoma when they're playing teams that are unranked and barely winning? Well, I mean, we could actually say the same thing with Cincinnati. They only got one win really over Notre Dame. But can you say that Cincinnati deserves to be number 4? Yes, they're undefeated, but they barely beat Navy. I mean, come on now. And then they had 3 straight weeks that they barely were defeating teams. But hey, they're ranked. Everyone's happy. No one's saying nothing. Don't complain that Cincinnati should be at 2 or 3. They're in the top 4 where they need to be. And that's the bottom line. Because
Yeah.
at the end on Sunday, that's all that matters. Who's going to be in the top 4? What's going to be crazy is that if Cincinnati remains at 4 and Georgia remains at 1, we're going to have a rematch of last year's bowl game when Georgia went ahead and defeated Cincinnati. And this is a different Georgia team. So don't think that this game is going to be close, because it's not going to be. So Cincinnati should be 3 is what Hector is saying. Okay. You're right. Maybe.
I have them at 2.
Maybe. But I think Michigan is a lot better than Cincinnati. I really do. Okay. And again, Cincinnati hasn't really shown that powerhouse team. Yes, they're undefeated. All right. If you want to go by the record because they're 12-0, I got it. But I do believe that out of these top 4, Alabama does not deserve to be in the top 4. Okay.
100%.
And then Notre Dame. Wow. Notre Dame's at number 6. As of today, I would have dropped them to number 10 because Brian Kelly left the team.
Yeah.
Okay. He went
He
ahead and
gave
took the
up.
job at LSU.
He's
How
like, we're not getting to
crazy
the
can that be?
playoff. I'm done.
And then watch this, right? Here's a crazy talk. And this is me crazy talking right now. All right. Crazy talk. Presented by CNG Sports Podcast Network. All right. Crazy talk. Should 3 of these teams lose minus Georgia, imagine Notre Dame getting in the top 4.
Yeah,
And then potentially being in the finals.
Yeah, the AD already came out and said they aren't even going to have Brian Kelly coach the bowl game. So you're going to have an interim coach coaching in the college football playoff. Oh my, that'd be insane.
It is insane, man. It is insane. And again, this is crazy talk. That imagine that was to happen. I don't think so.
No.
I think Brian Kelly already saw the future, and this is why he needed to leave. And speaking about the coaching carousel, again, we're gonna get to there real quick. Hold on, let me go overall. Look at the top 25. Again, Georgia's number 1, Michigan, Alabama, Cincinnati, all 4 in the top 4. Then Oklahoma State and Notre Dame looking outside, looking in, and seeing what's going to happen this weekend. All right. And this is the outlook again for the top six. Okay. Again, I am so happy for this weekend because Georgia will beat Alabama, guaranteed. Okay. I'm not making no bets. I am making a bet, but it's not against you, Jace. I'm not even betting you. There's no haircut. We'll put some cash into that, baby. Here we go. All right. Once again, and let me go a little close up. This is the top four. Can these top four teams remain there this Sunday? That is the big question. And I'm guaranteeing one team will not, and that is the Alabama Crimson Tide. And this show is brought to you by CMG Sports Podcast Network. Go to clovercrestmedia.com, all right, to know more about all the different podcasts. And there is a promo going on. Please tune in to hhwshow.com to see the flyer of the special there is. So if you're interested in joining and owning your own podcast, you want to visit clovercrestmedia.com. Okay. But hey, um, let's talk about this coaching carousel because this is crazy. Okay. So Ed Origin decided, well, they got the mutual agreement that he will not coach after this season. So pretty much they had probably a little bit over a month to find their head coach,
Yeah.
and Brian Kelly was the man. Okay, but then surprisingly, you know, Lincoln Riley just left Oklahoma to USC.
Yeah.
That is
That was
crazy.
crazy. And I mean, it's wild. I mean, if you look at some of the details for the contract came out. They're buying him a house. That they're buying his old house in Oklahoma. I mean, if you're getting pampered like that, yeah, I'd go out to USC as well.
That's
And
so that's where the money is going. All them
yeah,
billions and dollars that they profit goes to stuff like that, right? I mean, look, Lincoln Riley was like, "Yo, I'm out." Okay. After you lose to Oklahoma State, you decide to leave. And for someone to tell me, oh, they just called me recently for the job offer, I'm sorry.
oh no,
This takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. I don't care what they say or what excuses they come up with. I'm not buying it. Has to be talked about for a while, and I'm just saying how it is, man. If you want to believe
yeah,
the hype, what the media is telling you, or what they want you to believe, I'm sorry, but they were going to abandon ship anyway. As far as for Brian Kelly, the athletic director was saying that he wasn't surprised for that move, and I understand him. This guy's going to be 60 years old, or not. He is 60 years old, okay, and he can't win the championship with Notre Dame. He is the winningest coach in Notre Dame.
yeah,
He just don't have enough talent like they do in the SEC. And a lot of people are going to argue, well, they want to disrespect the SEC or they want to talk smack because they're always ranked. But let's be real. They do have the most talent in all the conferences, right? And if there's anything, the last three coaches that have been there in LSU have won all national championships. So
yeah.
can Brian Kelly do it? Now, Brian Kelly's not doing it this next coming season, but
No,
I guarantee maybe he'll be competitive in the following year.
maybe. I mean, the big thing with the LSU move is Coach O just knew that area so much, and he was able to. He was a great recruiter. I mean, you hear the stories about like Joe Burrow and all these guys talk about how great going to visit him was. I don't think Brian Kelly brings that same. He's going to have to work really hard to build something like that up.
Oh,
But I
but he'll
mean,
have the team to do that, though, man. I mean,
I
look,
mean, yeah,
he has a resume to be a champion. He just hasn't done it yet. Everywhere he's went, it's always been a winning season. Something that LSU lacked. Look, LSU's needing someone with discipline, someone that control the players, someone that control the staff and do the right thing. LSU is under a microscope because of the Title IX, okay? Sexual harassment, sexual assault allegations. I mean,
yeah,
you look at these players that leave and go professional and they're not even disciplined. Okay. I'm telling you that the culture in LSU is going to change and they need it. And yet they can still maintain being contenders. Okay. Now, the only thing about Brian Kelly and LSU is that you still got to play Alabama every single year. You're still going to play Texas A&M. Texas A&M, which now is having the number one recruiting class and looks to be legit next season. to surpass Alabama. Yes, I said that. Okay. They have
Love it.
already beaten Alabama this year, and I won't be surprised if they do it again next year because that talent, that defense that the Aggies have is unstoppable, especially for next season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. I like. I mean, I've been the one touting the Aggies, and they disappointed me this year. But I think that they definitely do have a crew, young guys. If they stick around, I think that would be a scary team. But yeah, I mean, I'm very intrigued. We still got a Florida job to fill. I mean,
Well,
now
Florida's already
Notre
filled.
Dame.
Billy Napier's already there in Florida,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
right? So
that should
he's
be
leaving
interesting.
Louisiana to take control of Florida. Okay. So now he has to deal with Georgia, which and his side, the talent's already there. They just didn't have the same discipline that Dan Mullen, which was out of control. Something that Joe Aguirre, our
Yeah,
other host, but kept saying all the time that he couldn't stand that guy who doesn't put the people first, doesn't protect them. He's all about him. And so Dan Mullen, who got fired, but yet he's still getting paid. Crazy
yeah,
talk. He's still getting
that's
paid
what
for only I
happens.
think $15 million. That is crazy. All right. And
Yeah,
all these coaches that are leaving that get fired, they're just getting fired because they still gonna get paid.
yeah,
So I don't have no sympathy for these people. None.
no. But
None.
I will make a bold statement. I think Coach O takes over the Raging Cajuns.
No. He said he's
Yeah.
not coach. He's taking a year off. He's not doing it. That's what he said.
Oh, I don't know.
But then
The
again,
man
do we
loves
believe?
Louisiana.
Do we believe anyone that say anything? I mean, I think this year
No,
Jimbo Fisher spoke the truth. Lincoln Riley did speak the truth. He said he wasn't taking no LSU job. You know,
that
he
is true.
flat out just said that. You know why? Because he's already been talked to about USC, and everyone got blindsided on that. You see?
Yeah.
Hey, you don't need to hire an investigator. We already know the truth.
Yeah, I will say though, Lincoln Riley at USC scares me because I mean, you see what the talent he brought into Oklahoma,
Not
and
yet.
the biggest thing with the biggest problem with Clay Helton at USC was he couldn't bring in the recruits uh, from California or the California area. I think Lincoln Riley can do that, and I think as a Utes fan, I'm scared because I think he's gonna do some great things at USC, which it pains me to say.
Yep. So, hey, on hhwshow.com, and let me show you real quick. Okay. In this paragraph said there are more shocking moves as Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma and accepted the head coaching job at USC. The Oklahoma Sooners administration and fans were shocked and felt blindsided on the move. The domino effect on the transaction is that the five-star quarterback Malaki Nelson decommitted to Oklahoma, and he is headed to USC. He is following Lincoln Riley, a five-star quarterback who is ranked number 2 in the nation, is following suit. And guess what happened? Everybody's going to follow suit with this guy and expect USC to run the Pac-12. I do believe it. I know Washington got a new head coach, but none of those they're not ready for Lincoln Riley. And I hope I'm not trying to overstate of the stuff that he can do for USC. I hope not. But I tell you what, Lincoln Riley took over Oklahoma when they were already champions. They had already won 2 Big 12 championships. He continued that succession, winning 4 straight championships. This is the first time that Oklahoma will not make it to the Big 12 championship. We're gonna crown a new champion, whether it's
Yeah,
Oklahoma State or Baylor. Okay. So him bouncing and leaving, knowing that there was a quarterback issue. I mean, Spencer Rattler is on a transfer portal right now. Okay.
yeah,
So what's gonna happen? And Stoop, the legendary Oklahoma coach Stoop, he's the interim head coach. So he's gonna be coaching a bowl game. And then after that, we'll see who's gonna be hired as a head coach there. Okay. But I'm guaranteeing, man, I'm a little bit skeptical about Lincoln Riley being at USC. My gut tells me he's going to succeed, but not in the timeline that people want him to succeed.
no, I
You got to
mean,
watch out for that, though.
yeah, I mean the Pac-12. I mean, it is tough. They don't get they cannibalize each other. The teams know how to play against one another. And that's why I love the Pac-12. And I mean, Kyle Whittingham, most winningest coach in Pac-12 history. He knows how to win football games. You got Mario Cristobal at Oregon, so it isn't like he's going to have an easy. It isn't like he's going to some place that barely knows football and he's just going to come in and be the dominant force. I do think it will take time, but I do think he will. He will make a name for himself at
All
USC
right.
for
Well,
sure.
hey, um, as you can see on the ticker, the top 25. Let's go review some of the conference championship games and then tune in on Thursday for our prediction. But here's some premature thought here that I want to say. Right now, Western Kentucky faces UTSA for the Ryan Conference USA Championship. They last met October 9th, and that was the final score. This is going to
Yeah,
be interesting knowing that the Western Kentucky does have a number one quarterback that's leading in passing yards. Could he
yep.
maintain and create an upset there? Oregon versus Utah, the Pac 12 championship. They played it November 20th. Uh, 38-7 was the score. Utah
Got
whooping on them.
kicked right in
And
their
that
quack holes, like I said.
and it's surprising that Utah is ranked below Oregon the way this score is. Expect Utah to do it again. All right. Baylor versus Oklahoma State. I love this game.
It's
I
gonna be
really
great.
do. Yes, Oklahoma State won 24-14, but you gotta predict, you gotta make that assumption that maybe Baylor can make some adjustments and maybe upset Oklahoma State.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because in the past we've talked about the Big 12. No one plays defense. It's all about offense, scoring points. Both of these teams, their defense is darn good. So I'm very, very intrigued.
Houston versus Cincinnati. The last time they played was last year. Cincinnati won 38-10. However, now it's a new year. Um, they're playing in the month of December. This game counts, and if there's anything, Cincinnati is more pressured on Cincinnati because if they lose, they're gone, right? So this is a playoff game for the Bearcats right now.
Yeah, it should be a great one.
Georgia versus Alabama. I'm guaranteeing that finally, Georgia will get it done. They have a 6 game losing streak against Alabama. 3 of them were in the playoffs, 2 SEC championships and 1 national title, in which Georgia had lost. And now they could redeem themselves here in Atlanta when they face Alabama and take care of business.
Yeah, they will.
Pittsburgh and Wake Forest will face each other at ACC championship. Look at that, 17 and 18 going after each other. That was the previous ranking. I know it's a little bit different now, but I'm excited for this game. I'm leaning over to Pittsburgh a little bit, but anything can happen on this one, man. I'm excited. They only met once at Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How about that? Can you believe that?
Interesting.
They only met once, and that was that day, November 17, 2018.
Really? These guys are staples of the ACC. They've only
Yeah,
met
but they don't
once.
remember they're in two different
Yeah,
divisions, and finally, only this is the second time they're gonna meet. That's
that's
crazy talk, huh?
wild. That is. That is
Yes.
crazy.
And then Michigan and Iowa for the Big Ten championship. October 15, 2019, the final score was 10-3. Could we see a good defensive matchup between these two teams, or can Michigan run over Iowa and put them out of their misery? And like I said, look, Iowa's lucky to be there because Wisconsin lost.
Yeah,
If Wisconsin would have won, then would have been a different story. But hey, I know for sure Michigan, they're not going to slow down, man.
yeah. I mean, Iowa also almost lost to Nebraska too. So I mean, they struggled last week. But also, that game kind of scares me because I mean, Harbaugh finally gets over the Ohio State hump. This could be
There's
the
no question.
Harbaugh
No,
game.
no. Harbaugh got
You
this.
know, I,
Look, man.
I'm
You
with
talking
you, but
about John Harbaugh that finally got over the hump against Ohio
I'm
State.
talking about
They've been
Jim.
defeating other people. Okay, I mean, yes, they a little bump against Michigan State, but you're talking about Harbaugh, who's exceeded the standards, man. I mean,
No,
this guy was the NFL head coach that took the 49ers when they were down in the basement, making it to the NFC Championship one year, making it to the Super Bowl the following year. I mean, Harbaugh knows what he's doing, man. Finally, he got it. He's comfortable. He's happy. He got this. He got this.
Yeah.
And you know who else got this? The CMG Sports Podcast Network. Once again, this is All Four Downs. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Visit clovercrestmedia.com, or you can visit my website at hhwshow.com. This is the reaction of the college football playoff rankings. And once again, let me show it to you. Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, Alabama number 3, Cincinnati number 4, and number 5 and 6 respectively is Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. Again, a lot of arguments and debates about why Alabama's still at number 3, why Cincinnati is still at number 4, and a flip a coin about Oklahoma State. But all that is going to be resolved after this weekend, and the final rankings are coming out on Sunday, December 5th. Stay tuned. I'm excited. I can't wait. And my rankings will come out the day before. So after the last game, we'll see. You just follow hhwshow.com and you see my prediction. And that's it, man. I can't wait. My Georgia Bulldogs going to represent once again.
I'm excited. We got some great games. I will say I have a prediction. My last bold prediction, I said Michigan State would beat Michigan, then Michigan would beat Ohio State. Both those came true. So I got another one for you. Even if when Alabama loses to Georgia, they will be 5 and Notre Dame will stay at 6.
Oh, Notre Dame's not making it to the college football playoffs, man.
I know, but they will still put Alabama ahead of Notre Dame. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's Nick Saban. He's going to use his political ways. But Hector says Harbaugh knows what he's doing as far as not winning the big one. Are you not saying that one big one against Ohio State, that wasn't good enough?
That was the biggest one you could argue.
That's the biggest one that everyone is harping about. So, and he got bonus money for that, but he's donating that to a cause. So, hey, congratulations to them.
And I mean, he didn't just win that game; they destroyed them too. Like that was convincing.
That's very, very so. But hey, tune in Wednesday, NFL picks with Hector V and myself. We're going to dig ourselves out of the ground and police us, dust ourselves off, and we're definitely going to get the right picks because it was a scary weekend. I'll tell you right there. So scary that even Washington was whooping on Seattle, man. What's up with that, man? How's Washington winning now?
NFL's wild, man. As soon as you think wild. You know what's going on, everything goes, and then you have no clue.
Well, stay tuned tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, once again with Hector V and myself, the All Four Downs NFL picks. And then Thursday, we are going to make our prediction of all the conference championships and who will be the final 4 this Sunday. On behalf of Clovercrest Media, CMG Sports Podcast Network, I'm with Jace, myself. Take care, everyone.